of even the banking system, and it's about going the direction of CBDC, central bank digital currency. And then we have this thing going on with Israel right now, where I read an article with you guys, I think it was last week or the week before, from Gatestone Institute, then it started popping up everywhere 2 weeks ago, that the Biden administration is funding the protests over in Israel. Tim Thompson, Pastor Tim Thompson, he's over in Israel right now. He sent me a video a few hours ago, some of the protests in Israel, and he goes, you think this is a patriotic Israel protest? It is not, because all the people, you saw the Israeli flags, wasn't that. These are people that want to overthrow the government, start a civil war, and then he zeroed and he said, look, you got the LGBTQ flag out here too. This is not about saving the nation of Israel. And you have the Biden administration involved. I pretty much guarantee you there's Soros money involved in this also. They want to destroy the nation of Israel. I can promise you it's not going to happen. They can go through some civil unrest. Israel will always exist. And these evil people that are doing this, listen, that's the apple of God's eye. And God's going to deal with them. Again, a reminder, we have it here often. Joel chapter 3, what happens? God says, I will judge any nation. I will judge every nation that seeks to divide my land. You want to divide it? You want to bring in the protests? That's what you want to do. And then you look at the state of America right now. Man, we've been given over to a reprobate mind. We suppress Romans chapter 1, the truth in unrighteousness, given over to a reprobate mind, professing to be wise. God has shown our leaders to be insane. How else do you describe the decisions that our leaders are making? Some are making them because they're part of they're the manipulators, and they know it's wrong. Like the George Soroses of the world and the Klaus Schwabs of the world. They know exactly what they're doing. It's amazing how many people are stupid enough to actually believe what's these bizarre things. Boys are girls, girls are boys, and all the other stuff. It's just a great idea. They're deluded. God says in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, I'm going to send a strong delusion on the people that they will believe the lie. We're already in a delusion. So imagine how much stronger it's going to be because we haven't reached the place of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 yet. And by the way, I want to say this before we go to your questions. I'm looking at the whole Biden thing and the information that's coming out finally being reported about Biden and China. I think they want to eliminate Biden. They want to eliminate Trump. They want to eliminate Biden. These people got a plan. Biden's been sufficient for them for now. But I believe they believe it's time to get rid of them and move on to whatever they have next. And so, listen, stay focused. Stay focused. Daniel was taken captive. He kept the Lord first. Listen, keep the Lord first. Don't turn to the left. Don't turn to the right. Stay in the Word. Let me read these last few verses here. Chapter 1, verse 17. And for these 4 young men, Daniel and his 3 friends, God gave them knowledge and skill in all literature and wisdom. And Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. Daniel committed to the Lord first above all else. And with that, God blessed him. God blessed him abundantly. Gave him skill and understanding in all visions and dreams. Now at the end of the days, they should be brought in. The chief of the eunuchs brought them in before Nebuchadnezzar. And then the king interviewed them. And among them all, none would sound like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, all their Hebrew names. Therefore, they served before the king. They were the best. These men were committed. They were the best. And what happened? And in all matters of wisdom and understanding, about which the king examined them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and all the astrologers who were in all of his realm. Thus Daniel continued until the first year of King Cyrus. Listen, put the Lord first. Amen? All right, let's go to some of your questions. Let's see. Got a little bit of time here. Start sending them in. I'm all for it. Get them going. I'm here. I'm not moving. So I get your question. So let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. I'm not going to be able to make that screen a little bit bigger, but that's cool. All right. So what do you guys want to talk about? Question. Here we go. Oh, yes, you could. That would be great. Here's this first question from Elena. Our brain-dead president couldn't possibly, let me see here just a second. Our brain-dead president couldn't possibly be running the country, who do you believe is his puppeteer? Who do I believe is his puppeteer? That is a great question. So I personally think we're in an Obama 2.0 presidency. Oh, great, thank you. We're in an Obama 2.0 presidency. Oh, man, I missed this question. Oh, this is cool. I can go up. Hey, I just figured out something here, folks. But I personally think we're like a 2.0 Obama presidency, but I don't know if Obama is running this or if somebody else is running it or people are much more powerful than even Obama. I suspect there's people more powerful than Obama because I believe Obama is also, has been a puppet. He's just a higher-up puppet. So there are definitely people behind the scenes that are running these things that you start looking at the bankers of the past, you start looking at all these different things and all the money that is out there, and wow. Yeah. So, Alicia Cardenas, do you think the last Jubilee 2025, according to Esteem's calendar, listen, I'm not going to get caught up in the Jubilees and so forth, and there's a lot of different people that do, they're all over the internet, and I've been caught up in different things back in 2008, similar things, and I definitely don't set dates, and so I'm very concerned about looking at 2025. I'm even concerned about looking at 2030, and I'll tell you why. I do know Agenda 2030. I've written a lot about Agenda 2030. I have a lot more to say about Agenda 2030. These globalists definitely have their target at 2030, but somebody sent a question recently and said, why do all you guys say this about 2030? What if it doesn't happen by 2030? Won't a lot of people lose their hope or their trust in you guys? Absolutely. So I'm very careful. What if we go past 2030? I mean, that's a hard thing to think of. I mean, 7 more years of this, and it only gets worse all the time. It doesn't get better. I mean, how much more insane can this world get? Well, during the tribulation, it's going to get a lot more insane.